Are you a butt girl? I'm going to get clear on what I really mean by this in this video, because this is your secret weapon to figure out what it is that you're doing to stop your manifestation. So you want to listen to this all the way to the end. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And don't forget to hit the little yellow bell for notifications on when I have new uploads. And if you haven't gone to ROSEYLife.com, go over there, check it out. Sign up for my newsletter. I put that out a few days a week. That way you keep getting some inspiration, some motivation. I share with you my personal manifesting stories and my lifestyle using manifesting, not just a one and done kind of thing. All right, so let's get to the butt girl. And you can use boy, butt boy in here if you want to as well, but you know, I'm a girl, so I talk to girls. So are you a butt girl? Here's what happens. Here's where this came from. So I get a client and they talk to me and they tell me, Rose, this is what I'm manifesting. I'm like, cool, this is what I want. This is my end. This is my end goal desire. I said, cool, all right. Then they tell me what they have been using, what techniques or tools or whatever they've been using, whether it's imagining, scripting, affirming, whatever. The tools are not necessary, as you already hopefully know. The tools or techniques are just to shift you into focusing on your end desire. That's all they're for. They don't have power. One tool's not better than the other. They're just lined up like a little drop-down menu for you to select and try them all out, which I highly suggest you do. Try them out and see which one works better for you. I'm going to give you the shortcut version of what is tried and true for me, and why I teach Neville Goddard so much is assumption. Assumptions harden into fact when persisted in, and all you have to do is imagine something by visualizing it or hearing it, smelling it, tasting it, or touching it. Or you can try all the senses or combine the senses in your imagination, and that's manifested here, and then it echoes or spits out the result in your physical world of senses. So someone tells me what they want to manifest, and then they tell me what technique or tools they're doing. Cool, all right. And then I said, okay, so what's your question? They're all, but it's not here yet. But I'm not getting results, but nothing's happening. And I said, okay. And I said, what do you mean? They're all, well, I've been doing this for 2 hours, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, whatever amount of time it is, right? And they're like, I don't have anything yet. So I want this, right? But I'm starting to think that it's not possible. But my mom and dad are super strict, and there's no way they're gonna let me marry this person because you're from a different culture, a different religion. But I live in this little tiny town where there's only 3 people, and I'm one of the 3. So how the hell is that gonna happen? But I don't make that much money. So how am I supposed to manifest something that I can't afford? But girl, are you a butt girl? Because that's what I hear. So when I hear anything that comes after the word but, I already know what you're imagining. I already know what you're assuming to be true. I already know where the majority of your focus is all day long. And it always is after the word but. Can I manifest this thing even though this and that and the other, but I live in this country, or but I live under the sea with little tiny miniature mermaids and little floating dolphins and little crabs, and they're all over me, covering my whole body, and no one can see me, and I can't breathe above water. I hear more stories about anything after the word but I only have 4 legs instead of 2, but that's anything that I hear after the word but is logic. It's reasoning. It's trying to be realistic. Someone on my Q&A live tonight said, is it realistic? I got stuck with that word. I said, what the heck is that? Realistic, right? The only reality is in your imagination. Everything outside of that is an echo of what I imagine. So, are you a butt girl? Because if you are, I want to show you how you use it to your advantage, okay? So if you are finding yourself, you can save yourself a lot of time by doing this, okay? If you find yourself questioning your desires, your manifestations, and then and ask yourself, why don't I have this? Or yes, I want this, but if that word but comes up, or however, it's usually but. Anything that comes after that word but, 99% of the time, that is the reason why you don't have it. Because whatever comes after the word but is what you are imagining to be true. Even if you say, no, but I had an imaginal scene and I laid down and I put my little spa music on and I lit up 13 candles around my body, and it was on December 21st and all the stars were aligned, and I drank pure water and I ate vegetable soup and I took a bath in rose quartz crystal. These are just more buts. Why don't you have your desire right now? Ask yourself the question, right? Why don't you have it? It's a trick question. Anything that you answer is total BS. If you can answer the question as to why you don't have your desire, that answer that you spit out is your but answer, and that but answer is exactly what I promise you. You are imagining that more than your actual desire. So even if you imagine what you want, you script it, you say, I assume this to be true, this is mine, right? Whatever, you affirm it, whatever you do. Even if you did that 100 times, if you can answer why you don't have it and anything comes after the word but, that is what you are imagining 10,000 times a day. And then you did this over here 100 times or 1,000 times a day, what you want. You're like, no, I'm going to focus on this. But then the rest of the day, you're on autopilot and you don't even realize it. And you're assuming that anything after the word but that is what you're assuming to be true. It doesn't mean that you're assuming that's what you want. No, it means that's what you're actually believing and assuming to be true. So how do you get out of this? You look at anything that comes after the word but, and you say, okay, so this is what I'm being honest with myself. This is what I'm saying to myself. This is the story I'm telling myself, that I'm making it hard, that it's difficult, impossible, whatever. Okay, cool. That's what I'm saying. So anything, I'm going to write down what I want, and then I'm going to say the word but, and then anything that comes after it, I'm going to cut the little piece of paper off and then throw that out and shred it into little tiny bite-sized little teeny weeny pieces, and I'm gonna throw it or whatever, throw it in the can, throw it over the window, whatever, because anything after that is the reason why I keep pausing myself, right? And anything before the word but is the only thing I need to focus on. That's it. So imagine how much you're imagining what you don't want, and it's usually on auto loop, autopilot, playing over and over and over and over, right? Because you remember, even Neville says, how many times do I need to shift over into the state of my wish fulfilled? He says 70 times 7. And he doesn't mean literally 490 times if you do the math. He says it's what those numbers mean in the Bible is they're infinite. You do it until you shift over into what you want, everything before the word but. You keep selecting it, you keep selecting until you feel it as naturally as possible. As naturally as possible, with the tones of reality. You see it, you hear it, you smell it, you touch it, you taste it, and you dream or you think or you imagine from the person having it already. Someone asked me about chocolate cake. No, they didn't ask me about chocolate cake. They said, what's the difference between thinking from the wish fulfilled or thinking of the wish fulfilled? So I use the word chocolate cake. I mean, the example of chocolate cake. And I said, so if I'm thinking about a chocolate cake and I'm thinking I want a piece of chocolate cake and that would be nice to have a chocolate cake and it would be really nice to have a piece of chocolate cake, that's thinking about my wish. If I'm thinking from my wish fulfilled, I just ate a piece of chocolate cake, washed it down with milk, and burped the chocolate cake. That was good. I want more. That's thinking from, all right? So thinking from is before the word but. Anything after the word but is either thinking about it or thinking of all the reasons why you don't have it, or all the limits, or your excuses, or all because I was born on my head and I looked like a kitty cat with a dinosaur tail when I was born. I mean, all of these buts that I hear. Are you a butt girl? All right, stop being a butt girl. Shred everything after the word but and stick to your assumption. It's like, no, I will have this. This is mine. You don't have to get angry. I want you to be that firm. So when your mind wants to go, but, no, it's mine, it's done. And then you start going, this is how you shift into the state of having it. Oh God, that cake was so good. Oh, yummy. And then I got to wash it down with that nice cold milk. See, I'm experiencing already having my desire. And the other one is like, that would be nice. I wonder who would bring it to me. Where is it? Maybe next time I go to the store, I'll buy some cake. Do you see how it's not here? I'm thinking about it versus like, oh yeah, chocolate cake. Do you see? So that's how you get into the state, and why you get into the state and why you think and feel from it, because it keeps you there longer. Because you swim around it. You swim in your state of your wish fulfilled, right? You just keep swimming and exploring. What is it like to be here? What is it like? Oh yeah, right? You swim around in those feelings and those knowings, right? Versus just thinking about it. And then then the little monkey mind starts trying to yep, about why you don't have it and why it's hard and why it's difficult and why this is harder to manifest than this and this one's easier, but then that one's more difficult because that one, and then this one because this happened and I have this. And do you see all of that? But stop being the butt girl. Right? Like, comment below. Let me know what you got out of this video and I want you to identify what butts you're doing to yourself and come back and share them and say you had enough. You had enough, and write them down, drop them, leave them, and say that's it. Or put them on a little piece of paper and shred them up in little tiny little pieces and feed them to your cat. I don't care. Throw them out the window, whatever you want to do with them, right? Burn them in a little tiny fire ritual in the kitchen sink. Just be safe, right? Have a spray bottle nearby, but whatever. All right, my loves. Okay. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.